Hi everybody, it's Moo.
And this is Fuji.
We just watched Hunchback of Notre Dame.
This is one of my favorites.
This is my favorite Disney movie. Holy crap.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about, this was another one I saw in theaters.
Uh-huh.
This movie was way too intense for me when I saw it in theaters. I remember getting to the part where he's standing on the cathedral yelling sanctuary, and I was like, I want to leave. I can't handle this. So actually, it took me a long time to rewatch this movie, just because I had such strong memories of seeing it the first time.
I mean, it is a very, very powerful movie.
Actually, I was thinking about something. At the time when I saw this movie, I was still of the age where you were not allowed to say God in school.
Oh, yeah?
You know? And so that was, like, weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, now it's great. It's fantastic.
Yes! Oh my god, this is my favorite Disney movie, like, I think, because it's just so good. Like, Jesus Christ, like, the music's really good, the animation's really good, and the characters are really likable. There's only one thing that's keeping this movie from being a perfect fucking movie.
One thing.
And that's the Gargoyle song. Like, the Gargoyles themselves are fine. Like, they're comedy relief, whatever. But then the part that song comes in, Paris is on fire, a family almost got burned alive in their fucking house, like, there was, maybe some tension reliever was needed, but they put in this song.
You can skip the song.
And miss nothing.
When I watch this movie, just for fun, I skip that song and you lose nothing.
You lose absolutely nothing. It has nothing to do with anything, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Quasi has, like, some sort of feelings for Esmeralda already. Like, we don't really need a song to tell us that, and and we could use some comedy relief without this long-ass, pointless song.
It's really cringy.
It's trying so hard to be Friend Like Me.
So hard.
So hard, but it's just not, and it doesn't fit at all with the rest of the movie. Like I said, cut it out, miss nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Even a different song.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just feel like you could have had, like, a goofy song and it would have been okay, but just not that song.
Yeah, and that's where it was put was a bad idea. Like, we were talking about earlier, where that song could have possibly have gone, and the closest we were thinking was, like, right after, like, before Heaven's Light.
And it's like, I don't want it there, because I like Heaven's Light better.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's the only place I think. I'm like, it's not necessary. They could have just tossed it. They didn't need it, like, at all.
And I mean, I think everyone realized this, because in the stage play, it's not there.
Uh-huh. I think the people who made this movie also probably realized this in retrospect, because like I said, the stage play that came out, what was it, 2 years ago now?
Something like that. Which, if you haven't heard, it's amazing. But
I'm gonna warn you, it doesn't end like the Disney movie.
Oh, no, it ends like the book. Which, I mean, this movie still amazes me that, like, they fake you out. They make you think it's gonna be the book ending, and then it's not, and then it's just like, oh, don't play with me like that.
This is so incredibly ballsy.
This is the ballsiest movie.
The ballsiest Disney movie. Like, geez, like, I'm surprised that this got greenlit. Hey guys, listen. You know the book Hunchback of Notre Dame? What if we made it into a Disney movie?
A children's movie
kids.
Of the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Who gave who a blowjob to get this in? Like, really, I wonder, like, how did they get someone to confirm this? I actually don't know very much about the production of this movie.
I don't either.
So I kind of want to know how the hell did they convince somebody to be like, yes, we can make this. And you can show this to children. Like, this is a really intense movie. Like, I completely agree with that. That maybe, like, young kids, you might want to wait a little bit, but you could probably show it to someone who's, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 8-year-olds could probably handle it.
I was just thinking that.
Like, they probably handle it alright. It really depends on the kid, but they could handle this movie just fine. Like, who doesn't like drama anyway? Like, and it's just a really good movie.
It's really good.
So good. That makes the sequel so much more painful.
I've never seen the sequel.
You know what? If we do decide to marathon the Disney sequels, then you will have to see it.
I know.
It's terrible. That's the one I really want to get wasted for, by the way.
Okay, that sounds good.
Because, like, the sequel, well, first off, the sequel has many problems, but one of the biggest ones for me is that the whole point of the sequel is to give Quasimodo a love interest, which he does not need.
I'm so glad that, like, in this movie, that, like, he doesn't get the love interest.
No.
Like, she is happy with someone else who, like, respects her as a person.
Yeah.
And it's like, You know,
they're friends.
That's the thing. They're all friends.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's
That
so
they're
nice.
friends, and it's like Quasimodo is in a position where he needs to like learn to like himself, and to like himself in the context of like other people before he could even consider like having a significant other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he only falls in love with her really because she's kind to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's how when he starts, like, falling for her, because no one has ever been kind to him beforehand. Like, but yes, she is very pretty too. But, like, I think that's like, you know, that's where it comes from. Like, it's not really.
I love that this movie, like, even attempts the, like, Madonna whore thing.
They do. They
Like,
talk about it.
Yeah.
Without mentioning by name.
That's really ballsy.
It's so ballsy. Like,
also, can we say, like, this movie tackles, like, racism better than Pocahontas did.
Sure does.
Like, way better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, you know, the most nuanced one, because Frollo's pretty blatantly
But the thing
racist,
is,
but
like, Quasimodo's racist.
yeah, he has racist assumptions for sure,
And,
yeah.
I mean, like, that's really nuanced, and, like, you know, your main character is actually racist and, like, overcomes that over the course of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you could, like, argue that Quasi's isolated, and therefore he literally, like, he's only told by one dude. Like,
I mean, but that's how racist people develop those attitudes.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, yeah, besides society itself. But, you know, but yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, the fact that he even tackled this is pretty ballsy.
There's, like,
It's
a
ballsy
lot of
movie.
really lofty things in this movie.
Also, Frollo existing is incredibly ballsy. Wow, best villain song, man. Hellfire's so good.
Most complex villain maybe ever.
In the Disney canon?
I mean, up to this point.
Up to this point, yeah, probably. I would have to really think about it, but
because
yeah.
you've established this character who, you know, he's a monster, you know, he kills people. And yet in the first, like, 2 minutes, you know, you establish him as, like,
very religious.
Very religious. Like, he has a sense of justice. It's just that his sense of justice is
horrible.
bad.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's, I think, some of the most compelling types of villainous behavior.
Yeah, granted, like, in the original books, Frollo is more complicated, because the Archdeacon and Frollo
are the same
character in the book. But in the movie, they split it up to make it more simplistic. But I think there's still nuance to Frollo, though.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, also shout out to Tony J, who sounds amazing in this movie, both, like, voice acting and his singing. Like, wow, like, Hellfire is a great song, and it's in the musical version, but it's not as good because it's not being sung by this guy. Like, like, the visuals of that song it's very visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know the Latin, what they're saying, it's singing about
it's not my fault.
They say it is my fault.
It is my fault.
As, like, it's my egregious fault. And Kyrie eleison means Lord have mercy, and which we hear a lot in the movie, but, like, we hear in that song in particular, like, oh my gosh, it's such a good song. Like, it just looks great and sounds great. Like, it's
this movie looks so good.
So good. Even if the crowd CGI scenes haven't aged that fantastically, like, it still looks really nice. Like, you could easily ignore that and not be bothered by it. I only notice it because I look for it, but
it's subtle enough that, like, it still passes really, really well.
The CGI and the bells look really great still, though. Like, they look really nice. It's just the people can get a little dodgy, but they were still perfecting that technology at the time.
We've come a really long way with CGI.
Yeah, we really have. It's
like, and not that long of a time, because, like, I remember the CGI in Beauty and the Beast being, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it definitely was weirder.
Yeah.
And then this is, you know, not that many years later, and it's improved, I think, leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah. And, like, in Lion King, they use it, like, mostly with
the wildebeest stampede.
Yeah, but not all of them are CGI.
Right.
A lot of them are hand-drawn, some of them are CGI just to add more of them. But this is the first CGI, like, complete CGI crowd that we see in the movie. Like, it's pretty much all CGI the majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I look forward just to see, like, you know, where it puts there. But then when you see it, you're just like, yeah, this is a little bit out of date, but it still looks good. And if you're not looking for it, you're not really going to notice it very much. Mm-hmm. Like, especially, like I said, the bells, I think, have the best CGI in the movie. They look really nice. Also, I love the bells. I love the soundtrack. The score to this movie is so great. It's so good. This movie's so good, okay?
It is really good.
Even with that one big old tone problem, it's still really, really good, I think. And I think it's worth your time if you wish to watch it. If you're expecting it to be, like, exactly like the book or even very close to the book, it kind of isn't. Don't.
I mean, the book is just a long wank session over Notre Dame.
So. It really is. And a really depressing story. And Phoebus is really a big asshole in that book.
Everyone's an asshole in that book.
Yeah, pretty much. Even Quasi is an asshole in that book. Esmeralda is more of like, what is it, like a martyr kind of character in the book. Yeah, they gave her way more agency in the Disney movie. Granted, if you're seeing Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, you're gonna expect some Disney differences in the book, just a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't think people should be that picky in regard to that anyway. As much as I like book accuracy stuff and shit like that. But damn, this movie's good. This movie's so good. And the Notre Dame itself looks really nice.
Oh yeah,
the catacombs look really cool too.
We were saying about talking about Pocahontas lacking specificity. This movie has so much specificity in it, and it just adds so much to the story. I think.
Yeah, it really shows that Pocahontas is missing. Actually, if you look at this movie that way, like we have like the two romance couples we have. They actually have some chemistry together. And they have that little banter they have in the church. I think it really helps with that.
It's like in 2 minutes you like know who these people are.
Yeah. And, like, Esmeralda does way more shit than Pocahontas does.
I mean, Pocahontas stands there in the mist and is pretty.
Ooh, she jumps off of cliffs sometimes and picks up bear cubs. Because that's okay. No, Esmeralda does a lot of shit, and she has a pet goat. It's pretty cool.
And I think that, like, even though it's a case where Quasimodo steps in at the end, like, he's the main character. He's supposed to have agency, but he doesn't, like, take away Esmeralda's agency.
I don't think he does. Yeah, no, definitely not. He's here to help out, bro, and also Quasi is ridiculously strong. Holy crap.
I love how they forecast that. Like, the whole movie, it's just like, this dude's really strong. And then at the end, like, it doesn't feel like bullshit.
Yeah, when
like,
he breaks the chains.
He is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think the part that stands out to us to me where they show off Quasi's strength is when he lifts up Phoebus, a grown man in full armor, like, effortlessly, like, several feet off the ground. Like, he's holding that dude up. Like, I think that shows the best his strength. You're just like, oh my god, like, this guy's really, really strong. Like, no, he can, like, throw this dude across the room, no problem. Like, and a lot of what holding Quasi back is, like, his, like, I guess is timidness is the right word? Or, like,
I think because he doesn't want to be perceived as a monster.
Right, yeah, it's, like, his self-doubt. There you go, the self-doubt.
Anyway, I am going to let you keep talking if you want. I have to take off, but...
Well, I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say anyway, so I think I'm good. But this movie's really fucking good.
Watch it.
Yeah, watch it. So good. So good, so good. And our next movie will be Hercules. Oh, boy! Are you ready for Hercules?
I'm ready for Hercules.
Because bless my soul, Hercules on a roll. Its movie's kind of not good. As much as I like Hercules. But anyway, we will get that next time.